It's a new season, and the same problems plaguing the Baltimore Ravens. Yet again, this team, in their inability to close out a game in the fourth quarter, continues to plague this team. It feels like deja vu how many times we've gone over this. I don't know the answer at this point. But same thing I've said in the past, it comes from the top. It just has to. This team looks so just not good. I don't even know the right word for it. The defense looked good in the first half. In the fourth quarter, Brock Bowers and Devontae Adams just absolutely had their way with the Baltimore Ravens secondary. And the Ravens, they had chances to really grab the momentum and close out the game. But again, in true Ravens fashion, they don't do it. And I don't know what it is about this team. This was a very popular discussion we were having last season too, and it carried on further than last season. Don't get me wrong, that's just when this channel was made, was last season. But the Ravens caught fire, and they weren't really in a lot of close games in the fourth quarter down the stretch, so they didn't really have that problem throughout the latter part of last year. But here we are again. They cannot close out games. Whatever it is, I don't know. But they find ways. Good teams find ways to win games, like the Kansas City Chiefs do. And the Ravens find ways to lose games. How many stupid penalties were there on the Ravens this game? I understand there were like the face mask on Madubuike was a horrible call. But again, Ajabo had a late hit on that play that should have gotten called. So, tomato here. The Brandon Stevens call, sure, whatever. I don't even want to get into all of it. I'm not into the refs rigged the game. The refs did. The Ravens had opportunities to take the game over. When you're up 16-6, I believe it was, and the Ravens had the football, and Lamar Jackson threw it, and it hit Rashad Bateman right in the hands, and he couldn't hold on to it, and led to an interception, which the Raiders turned into 7 points, changed the complexion of the game. It's plays like that always the Ravens can habitually make or don't make, and that's what possibly cost them the game. That drive could have ended in points. The Ravens offense was starting to get momentum. They were starting to move the ball. And then Bateman has butterfingers. And the credit to the Raiders defender. He made a really nice play on the ball, and the Raiders did exactly what they needed to do and went down and scored. Changed the game. Then the Ravens went down, or the Ravens rather, went down and scored a touchdown, made it a 10-point game again. So I was thinking, the defense has been playing really well. Obviously, they got a short field on the last drive, so if they go out and they can stop the Raiders, the offense is starting to roll with Derrick Henry getting the run game going. Everything we've talked about they needed to do, they were starting to put together. And then the Raiders drove right down the field and scored again. So, you tell me, what is this solution here? The offensive line didn't look as bad. Max Crosby still wreaked havoc, but I give Max Crosby all the credit in the world. That dude is a phenomenal player. I think the Ravens' offensive line played better. I thought Roger Rosengarten, when he first entered the game and went one-on-one with Max Crosby, held his own and was tremendous in that early part of him entering the game. But it's typical John Harbaugh Ravens football, where they just crap down their leg in the fourth quarter. I don't know the solution. Is the solution getting a new coach? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and scream that Harbaugh needs to be fired. Maybe he does. I don't know. But this is the worst start in the Lamar Jackson era, and this was a team that was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. I don't know what is the excuse this time. In Ravens Nation, if it makes you feel any better, I haven't heard, I don't even know if John Harbaugh's done his press conference yet at this point while I'm recording this, but if it makes you feel any better, I'm sure he's going to stand up there and tell you that the Ravens battled really hard and they played hard, they tried their best, but the Raiders just made some good plays. But you know what? They're going to watch the film, and they're going to get better this week as they prepare for next week's game. This was supposed to be the game they won. and I don't say that to discredit the Raiders, out of the Ravens opening of their schedule, this was supposed to be the game that they won. The Chiefs, you can swallow them losing that game. I have expected them to lose the game. I predicted them to lose the game on this channel. Then you came home and played the Raiders, a team that has struggled in recent years, with Gardner Minshew as their quarterback, who for some reason continues to give the Ravens, continues to give the Baltimore Ravens fits. This game was almost a mirror image of the Colts game last year when Gardner Minshew was the quarterback. The Ravens were winning most of the game, and the Colts did enough to just stick around. And then the Ravens just crapped down their leg, and the Colts took advantage of it. That truly is the formula to beating the Baltimore Ravens. And honest to goodness, I was thinking about this before the game, because I was thinking of that Colts game. That is how you beat the Baltimore Ravens. You don't have to go in and dominate and be up 2 scores going into the fourth quarter. You just have to do enough to stick around. Make it a game in the fourth quarter. 1 to 2 possessions. Because the Ravens will find a way to blow it. Seems like they always do. I mean, don't believe me. Look at the last, 3-4 seasons. That's what they do. They get leads, and then I don't know if they get too conservative or they change. I don't know what they do in the fourth quarter, but they do not execute. They do not have that killer instinct to put teams away. I can't help but point to the top. This is a John Harbaugh problem. He is the coach. It ultimately all falls back on him. The worst start in the Lamar Jackson era. Now you have to go to Dallas, who just got blown out by New Orleans. So, they're going to be hungry to get that bad taste out of their mouth. Then they got to go play Buffalo in Sunday Night Football. Look, this is a disaster of a start. A disaster. And I don't want to hear this, we're 2 games in and there's still so much time. The schedule is not getting easier for this team. And they look so disjointed at this point. I don't even know what the solution is. The defense in the first half looked really good. There's a lot of good things to take away from the defense. The second half, our secondary absolutely got exploited. Brandon Stevens got exploited. Marlon Humphrey got exploited. Somebody tell me, what do the Ravens need to do? And offensively, they look like they started getting momentum, but when they had a chance at the end of the game, when Lamar Jackson trotted out there with that offense, and it was 23-23, first play of the drive, big-time sack. Second play, a draw to Justice Hill. Well, that got absolutely nothing. Third down and 19? Check down to Justice Hill. Oh, and then you had a 19-yard punt from Jordan Stout. I'm telling you, this team, it's like a domino effect. If one thing triggers it, in this case, it was probably the interception, really started it. And the Ravens kept in it for a while, but then after that, the dominoes just started falling all the way down. And then it was like, there's nothing you can do. And somebody explained to me, why on earth John Harbaugh, both of his challenges were awful. They were so clearly, correctly called on the field. Whoever is telling John Harbaugh, throw the challenge flag, please fire them tonight. Do not lock them out of the office Monday morning. That was awful. Anybody with 2 working eyes could see that the officials correctly called both of those plays. So whoever gave this a second look and told him to throw the challenge flag, fire him or her immediately, because that was awful. The game feels like it's so mismanaged at times. The team feels disoriented and disjointed. I don't know what the solution is. All I know is this is the worst possible start the Baltimore Ravens could have possibly had when this was the game. Like I said, they needed to win. Out of their first, 4 or 5 games on the schedule, this was the one you looked at and said that's one they need to win. Chiefs, Raiders, Cowboys, Bills, Bengals. My goodness, all I'm saying, buckle in. We could be in for a long season. Rashad Bateman, I've been high on Bate. I've tried to be patient because I know he's dealt with injury issues. I don't know. The dude is so hit or miss. I don't know. He either makes an outstanding play or he makes the most head-scratching play. There's really no in-between with Rashad Bateman. You look at the play that led to an interception, smacked him right on the hands, turned out to be an interception, and then he goes and makes a really nice catch on an out route. What was it? On second or third down. Really nice play. And you're like, why can't you just do that consistently? Why? I don't know. I don't know what to say. What do you guys think? What do you think the Ravens need to do going forward? Yeah, what were your takeaways from the game? Let me know in the comments. And I will, I guess, see you guys tomorrow. Go Ravens.